Okay, just waiting a few more minutes to see if everyone can make it. You know what? We'll just go ahead and start. Hi, guys! I'm so excited to have you here today. My name is Jodi-Kay Edwards, and welcome to the How to Build a Profitable Blog webinar. Profitable, blah, blah, blah. You guys have really bad foot and mouth, so we'll see how this goes. If you follow me on Instagram, shameless plug, at Jodi-Kay Edwards, you know the hype around this was so real. There's this quote that I have at the top of my blog, and if you've been receiving my business emails, if not, you can subscribe to that by clicking the link down below. There's this quote, and it literally has just transformed my life, and I basically do everything. Like, I've created my life around this quote. And it's by Oscar Wilde, and it says, "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. That is all." And if you are one of those people that are just tired of existing and, working that 9 to 5 on that grind and just going through motions, I'm hoping this webinar today will change your life through just having a different mindset shift and showing you that you really can create the life that you want for yourself, but it does take some work. Now, this isn't going to be anything that's going to guarantee overnight success. This really just requires work, and I'm going to get more into that in a little bit, but just a heads up, I want you guys to know that what I'm about to show you today is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not, like I said before, an overnight success thing. It's really going to be strategies that you can implement into your business or your blog that's going to help you create profit from your passion, essentially. So for those of you guys that don't know who I am, I will be talking about a little bit about more about what I do before we get started, but let me just switch over to the slides right now and we will jump right into it. I am so excited to have you here today, and make sure you stick around to the end because there's going to be lots of freebies. Woohoo! Okay. So one of the best ways for you to live a life you love is to have financial freedom, right? Or just extra income. So they say money is the root of all evil sometimes, and it can be true. It really can't buy you happiness, but I'm going to play devil's advocate and say, in a way, it can buy you freedom and time and experiences that make you happy. So spending extra time with your kids, your dog, your spouse, your BF, GF, etc. Those are the things that money allows you to do when you're not a slave to it, when you can actually live your life and experience things. So that's why a lot of us have jobs, right? That's why we go into the office, we punch a time clock, we trade our time for dollars. And after a while, it gets really exhausting when you're not, like, when the way you make an income to live, right, isn't matching, or it isn't ideal with, or like in align, it's not in alignment with your specific goals or your likes or your needs or your interests, things like that, etc. So I wanted to help each and every one of you here today to create a life you love, and that means creating a platform where you are able to earn multiple income streams, and basically this is done as you please, so you don't have to be tied down to doing something that you don't enjoy. So today is all about how to build a profitable blog or website. And I'm speaking to the entrepreneurs, the creativepreneurs, the infopreneurs, the small business owners, all of you who want to not only help people by offering an awesome product or service or content, but to start living. Now, at first, it will be time consuming, but in the long run, I'm going to share with you the secrets that has helped me to literally make money while I sleep. And if you need help putting this into action, it's going to be a lot of information. At the end of this webinar, I'll be sharing with you an e-course. So if you want to take this one step further, I will be talking about a product at the end. Full transparency, I'm not here to trick you guys. I did create an e-course to really help people because I can't help each of you on the individual level that you need unless, we work together one-on-one. But today, this is going to be kind of me taking the questions that I've been receiving, the DMs, the emails, everything. I did do a survey before putting this webinar together, so I'll be answering the questions on this webinar. So again, full transparency, please stick around to the end because I will be sharing my e-course that you're able to purchase and work through. Other than that, if you just are here for the free info, that's what we're going to talk about first. Now, this is time for you. This is you and me time, but essentially it's you time, right? So you are investing in yourself and you're learning something new. And the best way to get the most out of this is to close those extra tabs, put down that phone, clear your mind, and get ready to take some notes. What I'm about to share with you is gold, and here's why. If you stick around to the end of this webinar, you will know exactly how you can market your business to gain more exposure and traffic. And to help you do this, I'm giving away my ultimate guide for bloggers. And basically, it's just, I think, about 63 or 64 different terminologies with definitions that you can start using today to help navigate you through things like SEO and what is niche marketing and target audience, all of the business lingo that you really need to understand to help elevate your current blogger business. And if you are a newbie, this is going to be great for you. If you are a veteran blogger or are just here to kind of brush up on some tips, I do recommend that you stay around as well, because there's going to be a lot of valuable insight that you can learn and start applying to your blog, even if you're already getting a lot of traffic, to help you take it one step further. And for the newbies, this is going to be great because you're going to be able to dive right into it and not have to spend the 5+ years like I did trying to play catch up. Now, this is how this is going to go. First, I'm going to talk about the best blogging platforms so you can start making money from day one. I'm going to talk about how you can set goals and stay consistent. Oh, sorry. I live by an airport, so if you hear any planes in the background, that's what is happening. Of course, that's how life works, right? I will be talking about the best platforms to use so you can gain steady traffic and exposure. I'm going to help you understand what SEO means and also how you can use this to your advantage. We'll also be talking about how you can grow a loyal and engaged following. And then to sum it all up, we're going to be also talking about the beauty of scheduling and some of the tools you should be using to free up your time so you can move on to bigger and better things. Now, first, I want to ask you this question, and you can answer in the chat. How long have you been blogging? Okay, haven't started yet. 1 year, 3 years, 7 years. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Just getting started, but I want to know more. Okay, great. So, whether you already have a blog and want to learn how to make passive income from it, or you don't have a blog or website yet but want to learn more, I want to assure you that you are in the right place. Now, before we begin, let me tell you a little bit about me. I started my first blog when I was in grade school, right? It was a platform called LiveJournal, and I loved it. Do any of you guys remember LiveJournal, or even like maybe you also had one? I was born in Jamaica, so coming to a different country was a huge culture shock for me. I used this live journal, this place, my little space of the internet to write about the bullying I experienced and how I wasn't fitting in. And I really just talked about how I felt. Little did I know that this was setting the foreground for my future. Now, here's a picture of me sitting on my grandma's couch in Jamaica, being like a little hashtag baby boss. And right above that is a photo of me on a mountain. This is a trip I took with my boyfriend just last year. We climbed a mountain and it was exhilarating. I remember looking down and thinking, this is what it really feels like to be at the top. No stress, no worries, and no problems. I knew once I climbed back down that it was going to be back to bills, working a job that didn't bring me joy in reality. And I just, I mean, in reality, I asked myself why I created this life. If I wasn't fully in love with it, why was I here? And so I made this promise to myself that I would quit doing the things that didn't make me happy. Now, Lifestyle Finesse was fully operational at this point, and I was making a decent income from it. But at this time, I was still working 30 hours a week. And mind you, this was just last year. So this was very, very recent. So I really fully understand what a lot of you are going through right now or have been through if you're still, with that at that 9 to 5. So later that year, I think middle of last year, I can't remember, but at my corporate job, I cut back another 10 hours and reinvested that time into my business. And just doing that, freeing up that extra time in my work week to work on something that I was super passionate about, which was my blog, I just started seeing like massive growth and massive changes already in that little tweak that I had implemented. So, I've never looked back from that. Everything really just snowballed from there, and I kept cutting back hours. And to be honest, I don't have a really awesome success story for you guys. Like, I woke up one day and was sick of my corporate job and quit and had $27 in my bank account and then all of a sudden made six figures. No, 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 that's not me. Um, but I hope you can still be inspired by the route that I took and find the right balance for you, that you can also start making these little changes until it's right, until it feels right, and you can start doing your passion full time. So I started a fashion blog in 2011 and another blog in 2013. And I had an offer to sell one of my blogs for a few $1,000s. Isn't that crazy? So, because of its high ranking, I was able to sell this blog that I had built. And I really, at that point, did not even know what I was doing. And it was just honestly, that was probably like my luckiest blogging success story. But I declined. So some of you have been with me since day one, and if you found your way to my new and improved email list, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for transferring over with me, and thank you for not unsubscribing, because that is why you're here today. But back to what I was saying earlier. So I started seeing that what I was doing was getting recognition from brands and different people from all over the world. So I thought to myself, hey, let me start over. Let me start over with a new clean platform and just turn this passion into a profitable business, because clearly if someone wanted to offer me that much money for my crappy little blog that I really wasn't doing much with, I could invest in myself and do more research and like turn it into what the pros were doing. So at this point, I was maybe making $50 or $100 a month through affiliate links and sponsored posts and things of that nature. So once I created Lifestyle Finesse, I just amplified that. And so that's where we are today. I did exactly what I said I wanted to do. And I turned Lifestyle Finesse into a place where people gained valuable insight on how they can change the way they think. I offered my services and my self-help advice. I emailed people back and forth on how they could create a better life for themselves. I created a community of trust, and I took the time to really see who was looking at my blog and who was coming to me for help. All right. So that's a little bit about me, and that right there is going to shift over into what we're about to talk about today. So as my tribe grew, more on this in a minute, I realized there were other bloggers and people who had the same entrepreneurial spirit that I did. And they were struggling with very much of the same things that I was struggling with a few years ago. And I started sharing my business tips and advice. And from there, it took off. I've been helping my friends and family members with their businesses for years now. I'm opening up the blueprint on what has worked for me and so many others to the general public, and that is how this webinar had started. And with some feedback from you guys, I also was able to tweak it a little bit to really, really answer your questions. So thank you, Instagram and Facebook surveys and the people that emailed me back, because this is really, really awesome. It's going to be super tailored to exactly what it is that you're looking for. So the main thing I'm focusing here today is helping people to make a living off of what they love doing. And that is something that I've been doing on my blog and other social media channels for a while, and it's just so rewarding. It's so, so rewarding, and that's why I'm so excited to have you here today. All right, so number one, picking the best blog platform so you can start making money from day one. There are so many options and platforms you can choose from, like Squarespace, Blogger, WordPress, and I am an expert on WordPress, and that is what I use. So I might be a teeny bit biased, but honestly, WordPress is the best one out there. I know bloggers that have started out with WordPress, thought there's something better, moved to maybe Squarespace, and then went back to WordPress for so many reasons, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So you want to make sure that you have a self-hosted blog, not a free blog, meaning you've paid for a hosting provider. If you don't have a self-hosted blog, that means you're really limited when it comes to affiliate links, monetization, and even selling your own products and services. Now, I set this up myself, and I'm constantly helping my clients set this up for themselves too, so they have full control over their website, content, and placement. This is so important because you don't want to be constantly paying someone for making little teeny changes and that you could learn how to make yourself. So a free blog is something along the lines of lifestylefinesse.wordpress.com. A self-hosted blog is something like ilovecats.com or lifestylefinesse.com, right? So you don't have the blog name attached to your domain name. So I use Bluehost as my hosting provider. I will have some awesome resources for you guys linked down below and sent to you in an email if you weren't able to catch the live stream of this. And I'll be sending out a recap too to all my email subscribers. So make sure you're on my mailing email list. If not, here there's a link down below where you can sign up too. So I use Bluehost because they are so affordable. I'm not trying to trick anyone. So yes, if you go to bluehost.com or click the link down below or click the link in my email, you'll see that I think first on their page that hosting for as low as $3.49 a month, which is ideal. It's super, super great, but you have to come ready to pay a lump sum. So you do have to pay this lump sum. So you can pay for 12 months, 24 months, or 36 months. So I think for about $125 is what I paid like so many years ago for 36 months. Hello, yes, sign me up because that is so affordable. What I also love about Bluehost is that you get a free domain. Now, I just recently helped one of my clients set up her nutrition website, and she was able to get this free domain. When I signed up, I did it all messed up. I started with WordPress, a free WordPress blog first, and then I switched over. It was a headache because I had to change my name servers and all of that. Okay, I'm getting off tangent, but yeah. So if you go with Bluehost, you get a free domain name right off the bat, and you don't have to worry about transferring anything. So for those of you that already know you want to use WordPress, your website is ready to go because Bluehost integrates with WordPress so well, and it's amazing. But you don't have to use WordPress if you go through Bluehost hosting. That was a mouthful. Okay, so you can use other hosts such as GoDaddy, HostGator, etc. I've heard good things about those too. I'm not sure if they also offer a free domain there, but domains are usually no more than $12 for the whole year. And what's really important is that you learn how to do this and set this up on your own, as I had mentioned earlier, or work with a coach or work with someone who is going to teach you and show you. Don't give someone else control over your website, blog, or business, especially when you're just starting out. There's going to be time for you to delegate this later on. So invest in yourself and learn how to do things yourself so you can save money. And it's that's honestly probably like the only thing I did correctly when I first started was learn how to do it myself. And then everything else was just a huge learning curve. But yeah, know how to operate your website, become the expert of your own platform. When I started my blog, I made the mistake of using a free one first, so I had to learn how to change my name servers, which means I had to change my blog directory from my free one to my paid hosting one at Bluehost and transfer my content and download and re-download my site. It was a nightmare. It sounds like a nightmare. It was a nightmare, and it took forever. I am on a tangent again, but okay. So I taught myself how to do it because the pros were charging $400 for this mitigation fee, and I was like, nah, yo girl is balling on a budget. So if you don't have this set up yet, I highly recommend just going to Bluehost and set up your hosting that way. If you already have this set up, I hope it was easy for you. If you need help, feel free to give me a call. My number is 86753. Just kidding. Nah, shoot me an email. I can't give my cell phone out to people who are not my clients. And we can talk. So I'll have that info down below as well, so you can send me an email if you need help. Okay, so number 2, now that we've got getting started out of the way, this is going to be the next really important thing on setting goals and staying consistent. Staying consistent requires that you need to not just set goals, but you also have to set systems. What I mean by this is that you can't just set a goal that you're going to post once a week to your website or post 3 times a week to your Instagram. The system is what turns your wishes of success into actual success. Now, setting a goal is great, but how often do we set a goal and leave it there, right? As an entrepreneur, it's really important that we not only set goals, but create these systems on how we will achieve those goals. So I like to break mine down like this. With a goal, I stick with a consistent, my goal would be to stick with a consistent posting schedule, which is something that I do right now. So every Monday, I will create a new blog post. That's what I do. Every Monday, a new blog post goes out on my blog. So this is my detail, this is my system to my goal. I will stick to this by finding one or a few days out of the month to schedule all of my blog posts to ensure that I stick to my posting schedule. Blog posts need to be planned, edited, and ready for posting prior to the first Monday of each month. So that is one example of goal versus system. Another example, so goal, I'll post to Instagram at least 5 times a week. Now, my system to that goal is I will do this by planning my Instagram photos in advance. I will use an app such as Planoly to help me automate this process. I can make this less stressful by editing my photos and writing my captions ahead of time. And I will save my hashtags in my notes section on my phone so it can be copied and pasted into Instagram. So see how detailed that system was to meet my goal? If I'm following that system, I'm automatically going to reach my goal. It's not just going to be, I'm going to lose 5 pounds in a month. What are the steps that you're going to be taking to reach those 5 pounds? And that's where a lot of us fail, is we have this goal of, I want to grow my following. Okay, exactly how are you going to grow your following? I want to increase my sales. What are the strategies you're working on every day to meet that goal of increasing your sales? Let's see. So now we're on to number 3, cruising and cruising. So know the best platforms to use so you can gain steady traffic and exposure to grow a loyal and engaged following. Whew, out of breath, you guys. So now that you have your website, right, you know the difference between self-hosted and hosted, and if you already have one, how do you get people to go to it? So the opportunities are endless. I know some of you are already on social media, and some of you are social media mavens. Some of you are cringing at the thought of social media like Twitter and Instagram. But social media is a proven way to continuously drive steady traffic to your blog, website, and yes, even YouTube channel for you YouTubers out there. There are literally hundreds of ways you can take your existing traffic and make more money when you have a blog. The possibilities, like I said before, are endless. So you might come up dry a week or two, but if you just think and refocus your efforts and again set those goals and systems and try again, you will not fail. I use Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, Snapchat, and Facebook as the main source of driving traffic to my blog, and I promise you it's not as exhausting as it sounds. However, you need to pick something that's going to work for you. So if you don't already have those platforms, don't worry, don't use them. Just use the platform that you have. You don't have to go out and make accounts for all these different things. So my blog is where my affiliate links are. These are where my ads are placed. Ads that make me money when someone just views my page. Sometimes some of these ads you don't even have to interact or click on them. But I utilize my social media channels in a way that doesn't make me feel stressed out. So going back to what I said earlier, well, let me tell you this real quick. So my YouTube channel has not been getting a lot of love from me lately. I'm not promoting my videos. I'm not putting my videos in my blog posts as much as I used to. I'm really not linking anything back to it. I'm not even really commenting on other people's YouTube videos. So its growth stays pretty stagnant. And that is one example that I know I'm not applying these strategies to my YouTube channel. And you can see my YouTube channel really hasn't grown in like the few years that I've had it, but I'm kind of okay with that because I've been putting a lot of my focus elsewhere. So I really don't stretch myself too thin when I really want something to work. So I'm okay with that because I have other things going on at the moment. I'm not ignoring my main sources of traffic, and I'm keeping my blog stats up. And right now, that's really important to me. So, don't get stressed out that you have to grow your Instagram following, you have to grow your Snapchat, you have to grow this, you have to grow that. If your main focus is you're getting sales, you want to make sure that you're doing everything to drive traffic to that main source of where you're going to make your money from. Okay, so I'm not telling you to go out there and sign up for every social media account under the sun. That won't work. If this strategy is going to work if you have a following on that platform. So you have to keep redirecting traffic to that site. So like I said earlier, don't worry about it. If you're starting from zero, the best way to grow your traffic is to pick one social media platform and focus all your efforts on that one. So right now, Instagram is a pretty popular one. I would really recommend pairing your website with an active Instagram page because visuals are stimulating, for one. It takes less time to look at a photo with a little caption telling people where they can get more information on your service or your product than it does for a blog post. So creating those two types of options for your readers is really important, also for your followers and subscribers as well. You can create all the amazing content you want, but if you have the mentality that if you build it, they will come, you are in for a few weeks, few months, and maybe even a few years of disappointment. You hear people telling you that this is the key to success, posting to Instagram 5 times a day or writing 3 blog posts a week. And it's not. And you know why? It's not. I know it's not for a fact because that was me like several years ago when I was first starting out. I was like, oh, I have to put a blog post out every day. I've got to post on my Instagram all the time to keep, there's a fine line, and I will talk about that in a second. I know I keep saying I'll be talking about a lot of things in a second, but I promise you everything will fall into place. Um, so when you're thinking like that, you just feel overwhelmed. When you're starting out, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I need to be doing this to stay relevant. And that overwhelming feeling just overtakes you, and then sometimes you just end up doing nothing. So you're not staying focused and you're not staying on track. And then little do you know, like 3 months later, 4 months later, a year later, you still don't have the growth or the traffic or the money that you wanted to make from your passion project. So there's really no reason that you should be creating content that people are not reading. If you have 12 blog posts but only got, say, like 10 views, and you checked your Google Analytics and saw that you weren't getting a lot of views on those posts, instead of creating more posts, start focusing on your traffic. So repurpose your content and drive the traffic back. A great example of this would be is if you go back and edit some of your old posts with backlinks to previous posts and just connect those that way. I want to let you in on a little known secret that you maybe already know but forgot. The key to success is to work smarter, not harder. Now, this would be a perfect segue to tell you on how I make money literally while I sleep, but I'm trying not to get on as many tangents here, but there's just so much information that I want you to be aware of. So, on the other side of that, of course, now we just went over not stressing about posting a bajillion times a week because you have to make sure that you're getting views and traffic. But on the other side of that, this is the fine line I talked about earlier. Now, if you aren't on your social media or even your website or your blog at least once a week, you really aren't doing it right because you're not staying relevant. And posting 12 times a day doesn't mean that you're staying relevant. Does that make sense? So even though what I'm saying is that you need to post, basically what I'm trying to say is you need to have a schedule. And your schedule shouldn't be 12 posts a day to stay relevant. So once you create a schedule and stay consistent to keep people interested, that's really where you're going to create a routine that will fit with your lifestyle. So you're not feeling burnt out, and then you're not feeling like you need to take little breaks here and there. Those little mental social media breaks some of us just want to take. If you've been doing this for a long time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So creating a schedule will really help you to stay consistent, and working this in with your lifestyle will help you to not feel burnt out. So in the world of social media, you have to make sure that you stand out and can stay relevant, and the best way to do this is with a posting schedule. People are not just going to magically flock to your new website or Instagram account if you aren't using the right methods to bring traffic back there. So we're going to talk about the second portion of that, that steady traffic exposure and staying relevant. So let's talk about cross promotion for a second. Your Instagram bio should include the link back to your blog or your website, your services, your campaign, whatever it is that you're promoting at the moment. And yes, it's okay to switch this around, especially if your image or picture or your post has a call to action, like click the link in my bio and sign up for this webinar, or click the link in my bio to read more of this blog post. That link that you use there is a tool, so use that tool and interchange it as needed. But sometimes people literally need to be reminded of what to do. Now, Twitter has 2 places that you can place a link. Pinterest has another spot. So when I said back earlier, I'm using all these tools, that's really helped me, but I've also been on all these platforms for a very long time. Now, my following on Twitter isn't high. I think it's like 600. I don't use Twitter as a main source of driving traffic, but I do have all of my blog posts automatically go to my Twitter. As soon as I publish on WordPress, it uploads that same link to my Twitter, and I don't even think about it. I cannot log into my Twitter account for weeks, even months, and still my blog posts are being pushed to Twitter, and still with my small following, I'm getting like views. It's sometimes when I see it in my stats, I'm like, Twitter views, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have a Twitter account. So yeah, I really utilize that and get it out there, but make sure it's staying active and relevant, even if your following's not that high right now. Views are views, and that means that one person that might be interested in your content might go to your blog to purchase your service, or be interested in that cute sweater you're wearing and click your link to buy it, and bam, you've made something, which is better than nothing, right? So, utilizing that and really understanding what different social media channels can do for you, and if you have the time to grow them, that's really great. So, the market is already there with these social media platforms. You just have to redirect it back to you. And I know I'm repeating myself and saying this again, don't get caught up in thinking that you have to use all of these platforms at once. It just so worked out for me that way because, like, for example, I've been on Twitter since 2007. So, yeah, focus your efforts on one social media platform, and when you feel like you've got the hang of that one and your engagement and growth is happening steadily, you can go ahead and automate that and move it to the next. Using Google Analytics, write this down. Google Analytics is a tool, a free tool, that will help you see where your traffic is coming from and where it's staying. So we'll talk more about this at the end. Okay, so did you know? Whew, this is like this is the piece de resistance, I think, of this whole entire webinar is Pinterest. And this is like it's really not a secret, but you really wouldn't understand, or not understand, you're about to understand. You really wouldn't notice it until someone told you. And I'm telling you because I want you in on my traffic secret. So did you know that Pinterest is basically another form of Google? You can create beautiful pins in Canva. And as a thank you for signing up for my email list, I sent out a one-page PDF with freebies that will help you elevate your content, and Canva was one of them. So for those of you that are just tuning in now, Canva is this amazing platform, website, not platform, that you can use to create beautiful photos and overlay text and images and things like that, and you can save it. I have the paid version, I think the Canva for Business, but once you, excuse me, oh my goodness, save it, you can have those photos that you've created, so you can upload them anywhere. You can put them on your blog, your website, your Facebook, any social media. I put those photos that I create from Canva onto Pinterest and I pin them. So here's the secret formula. Create beautiful images that capture your target audience and schedule them with Tailwind. Tailwind is another app process that I use to automate. So they release during peak engagement hours on Pinterest. And you can watch your traffic sprinkle in consistently and your stats skyrocket. I will leave a link to Tailwind down below. Everyone here today is getting a free month, no credit card required. I definitely highly recommend checking it out. Tailwind has been so amazing for me. And also I'll be including it in the email as well if you're getting this link via email. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, I wish you guys knew already how amazing that is, that right there. Like, most of my traffic comes from Pinterest, and that's through a photo that I put on with like a call to action, like 3 ways to overcome stress. So if I write a blog post about stress, I'm going to create the image about that, upload it to Pinterest, pin it there, and people will click on it, and then they will land on my blog. So, here's an example, another example. So that was my example. You're a business coach and you want to draw more people towards not only your website so they can possibly purchase your goods and services, but your blog. Hint, hint. Hopefully by now you've realized how important it is to have a place to relate to, that your customers and clients and readers can relate with you, and connect with your readers so they can one day turn into paying customers and clients. Blog life, baby. It's great. So what better way to do this than with a free marketing tactic like Pinterest? That's free, you guys. You can start doing that right now. Create an infographic, a picture quote, something short and to the point. Sharing some type of free information, which is essentially what you're doing on your blog, is you're sharing free information and kind of weaving in your products and services or your affiliate links that way. But the information is free, it's valuable, it's good, and when you follow those 3 things, people eat it up. So right there, once you upload that information or that photo to Pinterest in the empty field, insert your call to action, like click here to read 5 ways to overcome fatigue, the ultimate guide to blogging, business 101 for beginners. It's that call to action is a powerful statement, and once that it's paired with the information that you want to put out in there, it just automatically snags your target audience and brings them right to you. And sometimes people are going to click on your blog that they might think, oh, this is what I wanted, and it's not what they wanted, but they might still stick around and look at other things, right? So this is a really great idea for your lead magnet or opt-in page also, which you guys, there's so much. So if you don't know what that is, a lead magnet is basically you're offering something for free in exchange for like an email. And it's basically something that you offer valuable in exchange for an email, which is probably how you got this webinar today. But yeah, you're offering value and you're not tricking anyone. You're offering something that you think your target audience really could use and something that they want in exchange for an email, so you can hopefully further help them and create more value and create a relationship and just grow your tribe and community that way. And yeah, so that basically is it for that section. It's just really utilizing the different tools out there to find different ways to bring traffic back to your main money making section. So back to Tailwind, I use it to automate my Pinterest pins. Now you can also use it to automate your Instagram posts, which is really awesome. So like I said, I have a free month for you guys to try out. No credit card required. I spend about 10 minutes a week, or if I'm feeling really ambitious, less than an hour a month, scheduling my pins and linking them back to my blog posts. Now, this is because I automate my business. It's set up to run without me constantly hovering over it, and hence this is how I'm able to work on other projects that focus my efforts on making money elsewhere, like creating e-courses, like I'm about to talk to you at the end of this, drinking wine, just communicating, engaging on my social media platforms. So another quick question for you is, where can you save time in your business? You don't have to answer it right now, but just think about it. Where can you save time in your business? What can you learn to automate so it can run on autopilot without you, so you can stay consistent and relevant and continuously driving traffic overnight, while you sleep, while you're on vacation, while you're at school, while you're working on another side hustle or still working your 9 to 5? What can you do to free up some time in your passion project? Uh, what was the question? What was the question again? So, engaged following. Okay, so here we're gonna talk about growing an engaged following, which is all about knowing your niche and surrounding yourself with those types of people. So look at your fellow coach, beauty, fashion, business blogger. If you're selling a product, whether that be an accessory or a planner, you should have a blog about it. If you're selling jewelry, a service, a necklace, a sweater, a coffee mug, a blog is only going to help you rank higher in SEO and help you to increase your sales, because you now have this platform where you can connect with your target audience and engage. And if you have a new product come out, your website or the blog portion of your website is going to be telling people more about this product, why it's so great, why they should have it, or showcasing, look at this awesome way to think, look at the 10 ways I wrote about to free up, I don't know, off the cuff, free up time, something like that. So your blog is really where you're reminding people of the value that you can create, where a picture of your cat coffee mug doesn't really have an impact. You want to have a section where you can tell people why they need your product and why it's for them, right? Or your service or anything. Or even with fashion bloggers, if you just have an Instagram, that's great, and there's different things on Instagram that will help people, that people can use to buy. But if you want to flip it, if you're an Instagrammer and you don't have a blog, or someplace people can go to see the rest of your fashion style, or to actually physically click on the links, because like in a fashion post on Instagram, you can't click, you only have that one link we talked about earlier in your bio. So as a fashion blogger, having a blog is definitely the best way to go. And then once you have that, you need to focus on driving traffic there through different marketing means. So even if you have 200 followers on Instagram, your main focus is still going to be not on just growing your Instagram following, but the traffic, driving traffic to your blog and how you can do that. So, okay, little side tangent again. So, like I said before, you're basically telling people why your product is so great. It's a way to keep people informed about what you're up to. It's a great way to include some behind the scenes of making a bracelet, or, you and your photographer doing something awesome. Show them, so this is for maybe a small business. So show people how other people are wearing your necklace. So if you're not a fashion blogger, or if you have a product or service, show people on your website how other people are taking your product or service and making it their own, right? So the content is there. You just have to tap into it with different ideas. And I could go on and on and on, but I don't want to get too rambly. Your target audience, and I know some of you who are on my email list already received this little bit of info, but for those of you that have not been on it, your target audience is who you serve. Okay, so your target audience is who you serve. Your niche is a service that you specialize in. So this is really where you hone in to meet the needs of the few instead of trying to meet the needs of many. This is how you grow your engaged following, and ultimately, this is what will increase your traffic and income. So, your business isn't a one stop shop. Your blog, sorry to break it to you, isn't a one stop shop. Your fashion blog isn't just for anyone who likes fashion. The second you want to turn your blog into a business, the second you want to get more clicks on your sweater, on your boots, signing up through Like to Know It or etc., you have to have a target audience in mind, right? So having a well-defined niche is crucial for the success of your business. You cannot meet the needs or interests of everyone in the world. It would be great if all men and women of all ages were interested in your coaching service or your bracelet or your fashion blog or that cute polka dot sweater you wore on your last post. So if you're marketing and shouting to the masses, you're going to miss focusing on why that 18 to 30-year-old woman would love a polka dot sweater, or why that 25 to 70-year-old woman or male needs your coaching service, or why someone needs your bracelet or that your cat mug. So that's where a lot of us make the mistake is we don't have a target audience and we don't understand really who we're serving. We're just shouting to the masses because who doesn't want to be for everyone, right? But that is the fastest way to fail, is having a product or service that you are marketing for everyone, right? So you're not paying attention to that one person who actually wants to click on your affiliate link or actually wants to be a part of your coaching program or wants to buy your bracelet or your nutrition package, things like that. So that's the main portion of having and growing and growing. Sorry guys, foot and mouth. Let me get back on track. That's the main point of having and growing an engaged following, is making sure that you have defined who your target audience is and basically knowing who you serve. That type of focus is what turns your readers into customers. And if you don't have a loyal, engaged following already, and you're no longer in year one of your business, that means you haven't clearly identified who it is that your products or services or content even is for. So, who are you serving? Ask yourself that and write it down. Because ultimately, that is why your blog or product or service exists, is because you're serving that person or that type of person. So just another thing to think about, if you don't know, if you're thinking, Jodi, this is what I've been doing, this is what's been working for me, that's awesome. But for the majority of us, if you don't know who you're serving, how can they know? And how can you expect to grow, right? How can you expect comments on your Instagram or your blog if you don't really know who you want to be engaged with your content? So that brings me to my next point. I want to talk about my personal mantra, which is your vibe attracts your tribe. And when it comes to social media growth, that's a whole other webinar. But the main tip is to engage if you want engagement. All right, so engage if you want engagement. So even if you're a company selling something, guess what? Engage with other companies. This sounds weird, right? But I promise you, this is what works. Engage with other bloggers. Bloggers are definitely interested in cross promotion, because think of it this way: the cost of shipping and handling for a product in exchange for exposure to someone else's audience is something that is honestly like gold. So they take the picture, we take the picture, they market for you, I market it for you. If you're a brand or if you're offering a service, this is a great way to grow. And when done correctly, you can also do giveaways or free 15-minute sessions in exchange for followers. This is another great way to, if you're driving people back to your website. One of your opt-ins can be, you know, in exchange for your email, I'll offer you like a free 10-minute session or like a free 10-minute health assessment or something like that. Even if you were like a chiropractor, right? And you have a blog or a website, you're going to need one. You get people there, and in exchange for like something even as small as like a 5 minute, whatever you're able and willing to invest in exchange for an email to capture people there, that's a great idea. So for bloggers, you want to, it's kind of harder for bloggers because sometimes you just want people to look at the clothes you're wearing and click on your affiliate links, right? That's how you make money. But what else can you offer on your blog? Like if it's not an ebook or a cup or a t-shirt, or, you know, do you have a service? Like, can you be a stylist? Something like that, to offer a bit of advice that will take you really far. So think outside your traditional ways of marketing. It's not spammy, and the worst thing that someone could say is no or click X. You know, they didn't want your 15 minutes of whatever, or they didn't want your PDF guide. I mean, maybe that just means they're not for you, and I promise you, in the end, the ones that are your target audience will stick around, and those are the ones that are going to be buying from you, because the ones that don't, well, those are the people that don't want to buy from you or click on your links or engage with you anyway. So I hope I don't sound too harsh, but to have a profitable business, you have to be able to convert your readers into customers, and you do that by doing what we talked about earlier. You know, and then also having something to offer, having something of value to offer. Now, as an influencer, I'm not really into selling too many products other than my e-course and my business coaching services. So my following is made up of, one, friends and family that just like to know what I'm up to, and those people rarely engage on my stuff. You know, I'm not seeing comments on my blog from my aunt, or like, you know, very rarely maybe like a cousin will comment on one of my Instagram photos, but that's fine because my friends and family are part of my numbers, but they don't make up my target audience, um, unless it falls, you know, unless one of them falls specifically. And of course, my aunt isn't an 18 to 30-year-old millennial entrepreneur. So yeah, she doesn't fall into my target audience. If you're a veteran blogger, you probably already have figured this out. If not, here's a big secret no one's talking about. The clicks on your affiliate links and the people buying your shirts or your boots are primarily made up of your target audience. So you've probably noticed that you're not getting a lot of other bloggers or other content creators who are in the same affiliate program or even in the same campaign that you're in to sign up and buy something. But you could create a purchase pod where you buy through affiliate links mindfully through them. That's, you know, another great marketing tactic to really just skyrocket your skyrocket your sales. You know, saying, hey, I'm affiliate for Forever 21. I see you're an affiliate for Nordstrom. Do you want to just, you know, link up, and maybe like whenever you want to buy something, head on over to my blog and buy it through my link. It sounds bizarre, but that is like such an easy way is to start a purchase pod, something like that. So as an influencer, it's really important to have a target audience, because even though your tribe might be large, they might be commenting and supporting and liking, but if they aren't buying, you aren't really making much. Okay, so small business owners, I want you to listen to this now, so this portion is applicable to you too. So influencers need to have a good combination of supporters as well as paying customers, clients, paying friends, etc. So if you sell a product or service, you need to start getting involved with other people offering the same thing that you are. And I know I already said this, and I already said it sounds bizarre, right? I'm going to say it again. So community always wins over competition. If anything, take this time to look at who they are following and who's following them. The fame and random followers will come after you've built up a community around yourself, but don't be stuck up. And I say this because often we see new business owners who are starting out, but they want to keep their following count low, so they appear to be popular. And if you've been at the same follower count for months and you're struggling to grow, and your aim is to grow on any social media platform, your blog, etc., just try this new tactic. And I'm 100% sure that you're automatically going to start seeing results. So if you are a business owner on Instagram, start liking and commenting on people that you want to purchase your product. So, like, if I get, because a lot of times if I see like this eyelash company had commented on one of my photos and I just happened to be reading my comments that day, I checked them out because I was like, oh, what's this? This sounds interesting. And of course, I purchased those eyelashes. But I would have never have known about that company if they didn't leave a comment on my photo. So they let me know they were around and they said something that they liked. They didn't even really, they weren't spammy at all. They didn't say, hey, we sell eyelashes. Would love to have you purchase some. They were just like, oh, cute dress or something like that. And I was like, oh, whatever. So that's one way, as a company, to start marketing yourself, is getting out there and responding to comments. I cannot emphasize on this enough. I know it gets tedious and stressful, but it's really important that you keep that engagement with the people that are spending time to engage on your photos. And then switching back over to the blog. So with this is why Instagram and social media needs its own separate webinar. But for your blog, if you are a fashion blogger, I never leave a comment on another fashion blogger's blog without leaving a link below to my fashion blog. If you are selling a product or a service, go out there and leave comments, thoughtful comments. Don't just, say, hey, my name is blah blah, I sell this. No, just leave a thoughtful comment with your blog link, and not just them will see it, but the people that comment on their blogs will see it. The people that comment on their websites will see it. So this is one great way to get your information out there. And of course, if you understand SEO already, this is another great way to have links back to your website, which only helps you in the long run. So if you are even just selling a necklace, well, does someone in your target audience have a website or a blog or something that you can just comment on and engage with, leaving a link back to your product or service? This is a free marketing tactic. It's not spammy when you're actually leaving an insightful comment, and it's a great way to get people to know that you exist and a great way to start building your tribe. I've grown my following this way by just commenting on people that that are in my niche, even though they might also be another fashion blogger. But it just so turns out that I'll go to their blog and leave a comment and leave my link, and the next day or week they'll do the same thing. And it's like I've been having commenting back and forth support from bloggers for years now. So that is it just goes to show you the power of engagement. Okay, so we talked about engagement. So that really wraps it up. That was lengthy. So on to point number 4. Understanding what SEO means, and here's how to use this to your advantage. So SEO is search engine optimization. SEO is one of those things that for the longest time made me cringe as a blogger. I didn't think I needed it. So for a year or two, I just pretended that it didn't exist. And I wish a little tech person came out of my computer and shook me yelling, what are you doing? So in order to get your blog additional traffic, you'll want to make sure your website is optimized so you can be found easily on search engines. And it's all about making your site easy to read by the bots that are crawling and searching the internet. That is really that's your goal for SEO, is to make sure that the internet bots are able to pull up your site when someone types something in. So this means you have to make sure you're using the right keywords and phrases in your title, the body of your blog post, as well as your photos. There's a lot of different tricky ways to increase your SEO to include the alt tag in your images, meta description, and meta description is the little snippet that comes up on search engines, but using this is going to help you. So just use this to your advantage with this knowledge that you now have. And then if you already have been doing this, what are some ways that you can improve? So as a blogger, you can make sure now that you're including set keywords in not just the body of your post, but in your photo. So how does your meta tag match up? Are you already doing all of those things right now to help you rank higher, to help your blog rank higher? But the main thing to remember is just to make sure that you're still writing for a human. So even though, you want to make sure the bots that are crawling the internet is able to find your website, just be mindful of how you're doing this. So soon you're going to find random visits to your websites from search engines, which is really, really great. And as a small business owner, having a blog section on your shop or blog section to your service page is a great way to utilize SEO to get people to your website, because then from there, hopefully your product or service page will be clicked on and you're able to connect your products to your blog page. Lastly, I want to talk about the beauty of monetizing and automating. Also, the tools you should be using to free up your time. So, I have 2 rules when it comes to monetizing. 1, never trade trust for money. And 2, always create value. Now, with that out of the way, there are plenty of ways to monetize your blog. Once you have this platform up, even if you're offering a product or service that you provide yourself, this doesn't mean there isn't a product out there that your target audience wouldn't like or need. So as a makeup artist, is there a book on keeping your skin fresh that you could become an affiliate for? Or as a life coach, is there a pillow, adult coloring book that aligns with your aesthetic to help your clients live better? As a health coach, are there like mugs or tumblers or blender bottles that Amazon makes that would be perfect for juicing? As a fashion blogger, what clothing companies can you work with? As a food blogger, what cookware do you use on a day-to-day basis, right? These are all great ways to start monetizing your site in a non-spammy way that makes sense, that will help you to make money while you sleep. So if you plan on using AdSense on your website, which I highly recommend, or if you currently do, go ahead and open an incognito window and see what ads are being placed on your site. And one of the things you can do is contact them. If you see some there, contact them and see if they have an affiliate program or if they would make one just for you. This is a great way to get as much as 40% of a sale just for directing traffic elsewhere, which I know sounds counterintuitive, but trust me. Again, keep in mind this product aligns with your website and your niche. So your main focus isn't going to be to create money, it's to create value. And from there, the money will come when it happens naturally. People are gonna, do you ever hear of like, oh, I was scrolling this website and I found these really cute boots, right? Like, they're probably gonna come back to your website because they know they found something of value on your website. So even if they clicked on it, I also make sure that all of my links open in an extra window so they're not getting kicked off of my website. So you want to make sure when you're sending traffic elsewhere that it opens in another window, that people will remember to still check out the content on your website or blog. So, this is really where community over competition comes into play. So what product or service do you not offer right now that you could recommend to your audience and make a nice little referral bonus from it? This type of mindset also leads to my next point. You have this awesome blog by now, right? You already have it or you're going to create one. So at least have an idea of what you want to do with it. And I hope this webinar has helped you to do that. It's time. It's time to create multiple income streams now that you have this in place. And the easiest way to make money while you sleep is with those ads, whether you're a fashion blogger and you're doing fashion ads. And this is just on your blog section. Don't run ads on your sales page. All right? So this is the benefit of having a blog section, is where you can run those like 1 or 2 ads on the side, or a banner ad or something like that. Keep it clean, keep it nice, keep it fitting your aesthetic. And if you don't want to run ads on your page at all, make sure you can monetize with affiliate links, right? So those are things that you can just embed in. Being an affiliate for Amazon for any type of blogger or website owner is really, really great. So after you've created, because you can basically buy anything off Amazon. So that means any blog post you write, even if you're writing about your bracelet or your necklace or your meal replacement shake, you can find something else on there to offer them that maybe you don't offer right now that you can possibly make some type of income off of. So after you've created your base, which is your blog, you have created this place of trust where you've placed yourself as the expert. The end goal is that once it's set up correctly, you become the hunted instead of the hunter, meaning you no longer have to seek out clients or customers or readers because they're automatically coming to you. You are the teacher and you are viewed as a source for valuable information. That's why it's really important to create value. So another way to monetize in your blog, I know we're running out of time, we're like over that hour mark, but another way to monetize in your blog is to create a product to go with your service, or a service to go with your product. So remember what I said about the opportunities being endless? But to get to this point, you have to set up a professional space where you can provide valuable content to create trust and gain a loyal and engaged following and collect those emails. Now, monetizing can happen in so many different ways. It is one of the best ways to make an income while you sleep. And remember earlier I talked about Google and Google Analytics. So having Google Analytics installed on your site is very important. It's a free tool. We already talked about this. You gather information about your traffic, and this report can show you your top content and whatever blog post is getting the most traffic. And you want to double check that you're monetizing on these posts. So if you don't have Google Analytics, that's something you can do right now. Go sign up, and it should be able to pull, some information for you moving forward, and then you can utilize that to see what your most popular posts are, and then you can go back and say, hey, I got like 500 page views on this, and if you're not automating on it, that's 500 times that you missed out on making some type of income. So when you start thinking about it that way, that's one revenue stream that really pays off in the long run. And then not just income. I mean, income. So what I'm trying to say is basically if you go back and you're not inserting an affiliate link there as a blogger, if you wrote a blog post and you didn't insert your own product or service as a reminder to say, blah, blah, this is what happened to me today while I was hanging out with my kids. And this just really reminded me of patience. And so maybe your blog post is about patience. And then maybe it just so happens, surprise, you have an e-course on how to be patient, right? So that's a perfect plug for you to insert your own content into the blog portion of your website so that you can refer people back to your product or service. I hope that made sense. So I know I touched on this earlier about how automating your process, and this is the last section of that last point. So automating your processes can really free up your time, and this is really crucial for anyone who feels that they just don't have enough hours in the day. This is a great tip for moms, for people who are still working their 9 to 5, people who are constantly on the go. It's a great tip for honestly everyone. I automate everything. My blog posts are scheduled. WordPress has this built right in, so I don't even have to worry about it. I don't even use Evernote or anything like that. And because my scheduled WordPress blog still provides me with a link, from there I'm able to take that link and schedule my Facebook posts, tweets, and Instagram posts, etc. forward. And I do it once and I don't worry about it, unless maybe I'm going to scroll through to check for typos and things like that. But I'm also able to schedule my pins, and I use that with Tailwind like I mentioned earlier, and all of that leads back to my blog posts. And I'm even able to automate my email blasts, referring people back to my blog posts. Now I'm constantly gaining traction and new followers and referring people back to repurposed content, and this is something I want you guys to start doing too. So gone are the days where you're going to find me scrambling to get a blog post up the night before. I'm not spending more time marketing and inserting my link into random places. In fact, I'm spending less time, which is really, really great. And I'm getting even better results than when I first started out, where I would write a blog post and then get on Twitter and then get on Instagram or Pinterest. Maybe that's going to be a company someday. Watch. Someone's going to take Pentagram and run with it and make millions. But yeah, so the only time that I do this is when I want to take my marketing techniques one step further. The only time that I spend more time marketing is when I want to take my marketing techniques one step further, and this is when maybe I'll write some original content for Quora, or I'll go back and say, I actually do want to submit this blog post to Stumble Upon. So using external sources, I can't think of the word right now when I'm trying to think of basically what Stumble Upon is. I can't think of the word, but websites like that, or like BuzzFeed is a pretty big popular one. If you could just automatically upload your content to a website like BuzzFeed, imagine how much traffic you could get, right? So there are websites like that, though. It's not BuzzFeed, but like Stumble Upon is a really popular one that I like to use. And you can you can send the link to your blog post there for someone to read. And again, you want to make sure that your post is creating value. And it's something that people can take to better themselves or better their lives. And this is where, as a fashion blogger, it's really important that you're not just talking about your outfit, and that's fine. I'm not throwing shade at anyone that does that, but when you want to start making even like 5 figures a month from your blog or your passion like that, I think it's really important, the more value you create, the better results you'll get for yourself, if that makes sense. So I know that was a lot of information. And to be honest, I still didn't touch on everything there was to building a profitable website or a profitable blog. But during my 5 years as a blogger, I didn't have all these resources in one place. I didn't have a mentor or someone to help me. So I learned the hard way. And what I shared with you today is just the beginning. If you already have a blog, go ahead and implement some of these new strategies. I hope you found them helpful. And if you don't have a blog, you can definitely get started with these strategies right now, because that is what has helped me to get to where I am today. Not only did I waste my time before, but I wasted money. I spent so many months, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, years not seeing the results that I could have seen if only I implemented these tactics within my first few months of blogging. Now, to help more people start living a life they love and start living, not just existing, I created the Essential Guide to Blogging. This is a course that will change the way you look at blogging forever. Blogging has become a hobby for a lot of people. It's come such a long way, right? So, how do you turn that hobby into a profitable business? Well, just like this, I give you the blueprint to what so many people are doing, to what I did, and this is exactly what has worked for me, and this is exactly what will work for you. Now, most people walk away from this and do nothing. So they don't see results. Please, please, please don't be one of those people. People just like you and I are using this exact formula that I share with you in this course, and they're turning it into a six-figure business. Now, even though I'm not there yet, full transparency, this is what has been helping me to create more and more freedom in my life. Remember when I talked about going from working full-time to part-time and really cutting those hours down? That's exactly what I've done to create this life that I love living. And I'm never going to stop doing that. And I really, really hope that you can come along on this journey with me. Now, I'm not telling you this is the way to overnight success. It isn't. But if you're a new entrepreneur, this is what will set you on the fast track. And if you are someone who was in my shoes just 2 years ago, tired and exhausted, run down, and sick of not seeing change, then this is the exact blueprint you'll want to follow. I've literally transformed the way my blog operates within the past 2 years. And lifestyle finesse has just become such an amazing part of my life. And I'm so, so, so happy to finally be sharing my exact blueprint with you. Now, because I want you to not just listen and toss these nuggets of wisdom aside and actually apply what I talked about, I offered you guys some really, really awesome bonuses in this course. So hopefully that will help you get started. So right off the bat, the first person to join my tribe gets a brand new 2017 WordPress template, and this is valued at $59. Now this is open to everyone, not just the first person. You will get some amazing fonts and designs that you can start using right now to instantly elevate your website and set you apart from the rest. That's valued at $50. You will have access to PDFs and worksheets that has helped me and that are going to help you map out and plan the future of your business. This is valued at $39. You'll also get one of my coaching sessions on how to avoid burnout as an entrepreneur, and this is yours to take before or as soon as you purchase this course. It's there and you can listen to it. That's valued at $27. Now, you will also get a personal blog evaluation, and that's a $100 value. Fast acting bonuses is really just for the first 5 people to sign up within the first 24 hours. Now, what you will get from me is 4 hours of one-on-one personalized business coaching. This is valued at $480. You can even invite a friend. And in addition to this, you'll learn about perfecting your free value offer that you can give away on your blog in exchange for an email address. And you can also just start to understand in detail how to gain commission through affiliate links and marketing. I know we touched on that slightly, but there's so much more to it. And use this strategy to make your first $100. Throughout this course, I'm sharing the biggest lessons I've learned when it comes to building your brand and how to grow organically. And this includes getting comments on your blog posts from people inside and outside of your tribe. Now, this is not just a course, it's a business plan, meaning you have to not just read and listen, but act and implement. And I know I just said that, but I wanted to say it again because it's so, so important. This is a slow release course that will give you time to process all the information, and a new module will be released to you every week for the following 5 weeks until you have completed the course. Now, you're probably wondering how much. So, other business coaches are charging hundreds of dollars per hour for their time and literally thousands of dollars for their programs. I wanted to make this as affordable as possible, so I'm only charging $297 for this course. In fact, as a special bonus offer, if you order within the next 24 hours, this course is yours for $197, so I'm knocking $100 off. Now, the price will be going back up because after this, I'm opening this course up to the general public, and I wanted to offer a special introductory price to my new tribe, meaning that this offer isn't going to be on the table forever. In this course, we go over several modules. Module 1 is where we focus on finding it. We find the name, the website, the email, the niche, the market, the goals. This is really for people to help them get started. Now, if you are already past this portion, there's still going to be valuable PDFs such as your business plan, finding your niche, things like that that can really help you refocus your efforts if you have been a blogger and you've just been doing it as a hobby and you want to learn how to turn it into a profitable website, blog, business. Module 1 is still going to offer some valuable insight on how you can go back and fine tune what you probably skipped over when you first started. And then for newbies, this is going to help you set it up the right way. So you're going to be getting step-by-step processes on how to set up a WordPress blog. Also your hosting as well through Bluehost, as well as your email. Now, you can fill in the blog business plan template so you can understand who your audience is, or you can skip it if you still don't know how to fill it out, but it's going to be there for you to work through and understand. Module 2, we're going to be talking about building it. So you're going to learn how to build your content, build your confidence, and place yourself as the expert. Why is it such a hard word to say? And learn how to build your schedule. You'll be learning how to use content calendars and weekly planners to schedule your content in advance. And when people are just first starting out, they really struggle with finding balance. So if you're shifting away from the 9 to 5, this is really going to help you to stay focused so you can continue to post and how to write like a pro and to create valuable content that keeps people interested and engaged. This is the difference between making a few $100s a month and a few thousand. In Module 3, we focus on growing it, growing your traffic, growing your exposure, your following, and your email list. We focus on SEO and different secret strategies that will explode your social media following. I even give you a checklist that you can use to make sure you're always creating good quality posts that will rank higher on the interweb. So you'll learn the value of an email list and how to capture your audience more here. Module 4, we talk about monetizing your website. We monetize your blog, your social media accounts, negotiating, and this is where you learn how to create multiple revenue streams. I give you brand names and companies that I use to make passive income, and I'll tell you how to utilize various social media to tell a story that people can't resist engaging with. So this means getting more natural, organic comments on not just your blog, but your Instagram, or getting some retweets or something like that. So really focusing on the social media outlet that you're using, but how to tell a story so people are engaged with what you're talking about or engaged with your photo. Module 5 is the last and final step to creating passive income. And this is learning how to operate your blog and website on autopilot. So we automate your blog, your website, your email list, and your social media accounts so you can focus your efforts once it's good and making you money, you can focus your efforts on other things. So now that you've built a profitable empire, you're going to automate it and move on and start living that life you love. And you're going to be doing more than just existing because you're going to have created this awesome platform that is making you money while you sleep. And it's going to be super fun to work on. You're going to love interacting with it and other people. And you're also going to be able to move on and do other things. Maybe start another one. It's just the opportunities are endless. Now, since you're taking a leap of faith on this course and me, I'm offering a 30-day refund guarantee. I want to show that you have to invest in yourself, but I also don't want you to be afraid. I don't want you to think that I'm just going to give you this course and leave you hanging. So I want to reassure you that I want you to have results. So I don't want you to pay for something that you don't find helpful, which is why I'm offering this guarantee here. So you will just have to send me completed PDFs and screenshots of strategies you've implemented so I can know that you really did give it your all. And this course is a slow release, as I mentioned earlier, so you have time to actually implement these strategies. And if for any time you're not liking it, please just send me an email and we will work it out. So what to do next? If you've hopped on this live webinar from somewhere on the internet, make sure you are subscribed to my newsletter so you can also receive my free business tips and tools. And I send out tips weekly, and you can unsubscribe at any time. You can either just unsubscribe from the tips or unsubscribe completely, even though I'll be sad to see you go. But make sure that you check out the Essential Guide to Blogging link down below for a more detailed overview of the modules and courses and what you're going to get. I'm really, really happy that you were able to stay to the end of this webinar. And as promised, I have some amazing, amazing freebies for you guys that I have included here. So just make sure that you check those out. And if you have any questions at all over anything that I talked about in this course, feel free to reach out to me and I would be more than happy to help you get started. Now, I do want to open this up for questions, and I hope the questions that you had sent me via email or DM were answered, but if they weren't, feel free to leave that down below, and I will definitely answer them for you. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.